Hey my friends, welcome back to the Nightmare Cinema Club. You know, I covered this video a short while ago, but I rewatched it again because I just wanted to do a full look back on it again. And I mean, that song that I was just grooving to was, it's actually a very good part in the movie, if you've never seen it. And the movie I'm talking about, Return of the Living Dead. Guys, don't take this too seriously, because it's a horror/comedy. But it's such a cult classic, and it's such a good movie. Actually, I had a very good time last night just watching it again. I don't know how many times I've watched this movie in my lifetime, but it's been a lot, and there's a reason for it. I mean, some of these old movies are just better than some of the new stuff that's coming out. Period. But yeah, it came out quite a while ago. I mean, this came out when I was 5 years old, 1985. Return of the Living Dead. It starred so many great actors in it, and it's like I said, it's one of those feel-good movies. It's one of those movies if you want to have a popcorn night with your girlfriend, and you just want to relax under the covers and watch a movie that's not too scary, but that's very fast-paced. You should watch this if you've never seen it. I'm pretty sure you can find it. I mean, I had a hard time finding this way back when I bought my hard copies of it. But guys, you should find it. I am going to cover another one of these pretty soon, but you'll have to wait for that. I mean, there's so many great moments in this movie that I can think of. I mean, the movie starts off with Freddy and Frank, who work in a warehouse that sells medical supplies to universities and hospitals and stuff. But when I say medical supplies, I mean stuff like cadavers and, you know, all the stuff that they use to cut open and examine and stuff, like skeletons and stuff like that. But you can see that the part of Freddy, played by Tom Matthews, he's actually the guy who plays Tommy in Friday the 13th, the game, as well. So if you see him, yeah, you know where you saw him. But anyway, getting back to the story, he works for... Frank is his supervisor, and they work in this warehouse, and it's fast-paced from the beginning. Now, basically, Frank tells him that the movie Night of the Living Dead was actually a cover-up. The guy who made the film, aka George Romero, he changed the story because what really happened is a toxin really got loose, and people really started rising from the graves and attacking people. And by some mistake, the army shipped some of those containers to this warehouse, you know, and it's been kept a secret, you know, it has to be very hush-hush. And I mean, poor Freddy, he's very gullible, he wants to know, you know, wants to see this. Unfortunately, he and Frank, they unintentionally open up one of these containers and the stuff sprays on it, and then from there on the movie just goes flying. Now we know something's wrong because now the chemicals have spewed out. And then we meet up with a gang of his friends, of Freddy's friends. I mean, there's so many people: Spider, Trash, Suicide. Yes, I can't even remember all of their names, but it's this weird punk group. It's so 80s, this movie, and they just want to party and just have a good time and all of that stuff. But they basically have to go and pick up Freddy from work to go and have a party. Unbeknownst to them, that Freddy has been exposed to this deadly chemical. Now the problem is, Freddy and Frank were alive when the chemicals hit them, so basically now they're dying. Unfortunately, when the chemical came out, it awoke one of the cadavers hanging in one of the storage lockers, and now the dead body is running around like crazy and making a lot of cock. It's funny. I mean, this is very tongue-in-cheek, my friends. I mean, when they struggle to kill the thing, they decide to, you know, cut up the body and take it over to one of the owner's friends who owns a crematorium. And try and burn the body, but that's going to make even more cuck, because now they're burning this body that's been exposed to this chemical, and all of a sudden it starts raining. And quite ironically, these buildings are right next to a cemetery, the Resurrection Cemetery. And yes, some madness really ensues in this thing. I mean, there's this one scene with Linnea Quigley. I mean, she was one of the screen queens of the 80s B horror movies. She's just a legend in this, where she basically strips naked and then starts dancing on the having a little bit of a jolt on the gravestones and stuff. I mean, that scene where she walks up to suicide and she's all naked and she's kind of, she's like a cat. She moves like a cat. He just slaps it away and says, "Have some respect for the dead." It's so funny. But I mean, they danced next to her on the grave. But anyway, it starts raining. And the acid rain from this smoke seeps into the graveyard. And hundreds of reanimated bodies start making a lot of nonsense. They're running around. And this movie, like I said, goes from 0 to 100 so fast. It's crazy. It's crazy. The only thing I don't like about this movie, again, it's where zombies started running. I don't agree that zombies they shouldn't run in movies. They should be sluggish, dead, slow. But again, don't take this movie too seriously. There's a lot of blood, there's a lot of guts, there's a lot of gore, and you can see that these filmmakers were really passionate about doing this movie. The Tar Man, for example, there's actually 2 versions of the Tar Man, if you never saw that. The one that comes out of the closet first looks completely different from the one that chews off Suicide's head. But I love that scene where he just looks at the camera and he goes, it's classic. It's absolutely classic. And when they find him down in the basement, and he just looks at them and he says, it's awesome. It's so good. But yeah, a lot of madness ensues in this thing, and they try to survive. They try to get away from this stuff. And I mean, the climax to this movie is so good, because eventually the US government does find out where the barrels have been stored. And the survivors, the people hiding in the warehouse, in the crematorium and stuff, they think, hey, this contingency plan is going to work. And then we get that scene. Still, guys, great movie, good times. I mean, I love watching stuff like this. Don't take life too seriously anyway. So if you can find Return of the Living Dead, seek it out and watch it. I promise you, you're gonna have a good time. I'll see you guys in the next one, my friends. You guys take care of yourselves. Enjoy the film. Cheers, my friends.